Let me ask you something. Why are you living for the weekend? Why is it that Monday feels like a death sentence and Friday feels like freedom? Why is the majority of your life something you're trying to escape from instead of something you're excited to live? Because I'll tell you this right now, they programmed us. They programmed us to work, sleep, and wait for the weekend like it's salvation. But the truth is, you weren't created to survive life 5 days a week just to breathe on 2. Let's be real. We were trained for this, from school to the workforce. It's the same rhythm. Wake up early, be quiet, follow orders, take a break when they say, leave when the bell rings. And then what? Clock in, clock out, repeat. The system doesn't want you to be free. It wants you to be compliant, obedient, predictable. Living for the weekend is slavery with a smile. You ever notice how people go all out on Friday? Partying hard, drinking heavy, spending money they just earned? Why? Because they're trying to feel alive, even if it's only for 48 hours. But the truth is, if your freedom only lasts 2 days, it's not freedom, it's relief. And relief is not the same as restoration. That's what this culture does. It teaches you to work yourself numb, then sell you fake joy on the weekends. Your soul was never meant to be trapped in cubicles, routines, and commutes. You were born to create, to explore, to live with purpose. But when your life becomes a countdown to Friday, you're not living. You're just avoiding death. And every day you ignore your purpose, a part of your soul withers. This is why anxiety is so high, why depression is so heavy. Because deep down, you know this isn't it. Let's talk truth. You're not lazy, you're exhausted, not just from work, but from pretending this life is enough. From waking up every day to do something that doesn't feed your spirit. The system says, be grateful you have a job. But what about being grateful you have a calling? God didn't create you for time cards and traffic. He created you for impact. Here's what happens when you live for the weekend. You stop dreaming. You stop planning. You stop building. You just wait. Wait for Friday. Wait for retirement. Wait for something that never really comes. Vision requires energy. But the system drains you so much, by the time the weekend hits, you don't want to build anything. You just want to escape. That's not freedom. That's spiritual poverty. They say you need work-life balance, but that's a scam too. Balance between what? A life you hate and a life you pretend to love 2 days a week? True balance isn't time off, it's alignment. When your work reflects your purpose, when your days reflect your values, that's when you feel balance. Until then, you're just managing burnout with coffee and countdowns. God didn't create you to barely get by. He didn't design you to spend most of your life doing something you hate. You were made to serve with your gifts, to build, to create, to leave a legacy, to be fully alive Monday through Sunday. He didn't give you dreams just so you could clock in and clock out. He gave you dreams so you could live them. I get it. You've got responsibilities. You've got mouths to feed, rent to pay, commitments to meet. This ain't about quitting your job overnight. This is about waking up. Because even while you're working that 9 to 5, you can be building, studying, strategizing. You can be preparing your exit. So you don't just work to live, you start living to serve your calling. The goal isn't to avoid work. The goal is to do work that matters, that gives, that inspires, that multiplies. You deserve more than just rest on Saturday. You deserve alignment every day. What would happen if you stopped waiting for the weekend and started building a life you don't want to escape from? Because I promise you, it's possible. You just have to believe you're worth more than a paycheck. This world needs awakened people. Not just more hustlers, not just more workers, but people who are alive, spiritually, mentally, creatively. Don't die with your gifts unopened. Don't waste your life on a cycle that only offers you 2 days of happiness. Stop living for the weekend and start living for your why. Because once you start living on purpose, every day becomes sacred. Are you waking up just to go to work, come home exhausted, and repeat the cycle? Are you living, or are you just existing? Because that's what the rat race does. It gives you just enough to survive, but never enough to be free. They say work hard, get a job, be responsible. But they never said what to do when your soul starts screaming for more. This message is for the ones who feel trapped, the ones who feel called to more, the ones who want out. The rat race is more than a job. It's a system, a mindset. You work to pay bills. You work to stay afloat. You work to retire. But by the time you get there, you're tired, you're sick, and you missed your life. You wake up to an alarm that's not yours. You drive to a place you don't love. You answer to someone who owns your time. That's not living. That's surviving. Before you escape, you must call it what it is. A trap disguised as security. You weren't created to live like this. God didn't design you for mediocrity. There's a seed inside of you. A calling, a dream, a vision. They distract you with promotions that barely pay more, 2-week vacations once a year, free pizza on Fridays. You were made for more. You feel it in your chest. You feel it in your spirit. The first step to escaping is remembering you were never meant to be a rat in the first place. Workers trade time for money. Owners trade value for freedom. You need to shift from, I need a job, to, I need income streams. From, how can I work more hours, to, how can I own my time? The mindset is the first escape hatch. Because even if you leave your job, if your mind is still enslaved, you're not free. Start seeing yourself as an investor in your own life. Your time, your skills, your voice, those are assets. Use them. You don't need a job. You need skills that solve problems. The world pays people who create, communicate, connect, sell, solve. If you can solve problems, you'll never be broke. If you can offer value, you'll never be stuck. Learn high-income skills, copywriting, digital marketing, coaching, coding, real estate, content creation. Branding freedom is built on skills. Most people don't escape because they're emotionally attached to being safe. The job becomes part of their identity. But hear me, you are not your job title. You're not just a manager, a cashier, a tech. You're a child of God with a calling. Kill the fear that says, what if I fail? What if I lose benefits? What will people think? That fear? That's your comfort zone fighting for its life. Let it die. You can't escape if money owns you. You gotta learn the money game. Learn to budget, save, invest, multiply. Stop trading hours for dollars. Start building assets. Most people stay in the race because they spend like kings while living like workers. Freedom isn't always about more income. It's about more control. Don't quit tomorrow. Build your parachute while you're still in the plane. Start something small. Freelance. Sell a service. Write online. Tutor. Launch that YouTube channel. Your side hustle is your escape route. It's proof that you can eat without a job. Build while you work. Grind early mornings. Stay up late. Your dream is worth the sacrifice. Freedom isn't about flexing. It's about owning your time. Cut the excess. Stop living to impress people you don't even like. Do you need the new car or do you need your time back? Simplify your expenses so your freedom doesn't cost millions. Minimalism isn't poverty. It's power. Because when you lower your needs, you raise your options. The goal isn't to be motivated every day. The goal is to be disciplined without thinking. Create systems that push you when you're tired. Create momentum that doesn't need hype. That's how you break out, for good. Let's bring this home. You're not walking alone. If God gave you the vision, He'll provide the provision. Trust Him, move with Him, work through Him. The rat race is loud, but your calling is louder. Faith doesn't eliminate fear. It outweighs it. You were made to live freely, to bless others, to serve a purpose bigger than survival. God didn't create you for a cubicle. It starts with belief. Then it demands action. Then it rewards discipline. Wake up earlier. Learn something new. Start building. Detach from comfort. Walk with God. You weren't made to be a rat. You were made to be a light. Escape the cage. Run the race of faith. And build the life they told you wasn't possible. This is your time.
We are all trying to be the best versions of ourselves, and I want to show you the changes that can be made in this world. Change that will have ripple effects and encourage people to see the beauty in life. To help me, help others in the most amazing ways I can. I have a store linked in the description where you can buy things for yourself, or what I would encourage is to buy a gift for someone else. Show the people in your life that you care and have their best interests at heart. Also for the best contributions at the moment to the channel on helping and changing lives is to donate to our GoFundMe linked in the description. No matter how far we go, the change will be felt. I'm here giving you a first-person perspective of the power of change for the better. God is within us all, and I want to bring the power to you the best way I can.